M0FXB, we've just had an FT8 contact using WSJTX and my Flex 8400, and you'll see now in a second that it will go back into transmit, and on the right hand side there we've had a couple of contacts already. How excellent is that? So there is a configuration process. I've watched the Flex videos to set this up, so thank you very much, Flex. It helped get me going. It was a bit mind-boggling at first, but I'm just gonna halt the TX once this contact finishes and then show you my settings. We do have to configure a couple of items here. One is the DAX that we've got showing here, this window, and all of this is installed when you load your Flex software. And the other one, if we look here, we've got one called CAT. Okay, so these are the two windows we'll be changing, and also the settings in WSJTX. So let me just show you the WSJTX ones first, and then we'll do these windows one at a time. Now, the nice thing is there's no cables, 0 cables. There's just your normal connection to your Flex. Now, this is a local connection. I've got my computer here and the Flex is next to me, and I haven't even had it for 24 hours, okay? So the first thing we'll do is go File, Settings. We've got my general setup with my call sign and my IO81, my grid number. Go across to radio. Now, these are the numbers that I have copied from Flex, okay? So I couldn't see FlexRadio 8000 listed, but I could see, if you look here, FlexRadio 6, and then there's 4 X's, I believe, 3 X's. Okay, so we selected that. Then at the top here, we've put in 127.001, and these numbers are the numbers that Flex used. So I haven't used my IP address for my radio or anything like that. I've used the number they gave, and I've used the number here, 5003, just like they recommended, okay? I've also set this one here to RTS, and you'll see in a minute how we selected the COM number 32. Okay, so that's all I did in this window. I'm 64-bit. No, I haven't changed anything else. Then we'll go across to audio. Now, you do have to actually turn on the audio. So you can, on your input here, I know it's a long list, but what I did was I took a photograph of the video, and that was how I found it. So it's DX Audio RX1, Flex Radio Systems DX Audio. Okay, make sure you have to get the right one. Then down to the output, and then DX Audio TX, no number 1, Flex Radio Systems DX TX. And that's all I have set on WSJTX at the moment. We might have to just do one thing where we can show you how we can test the PTT and the CAT. But we're not going to do any of that until we've showed you my DAX settings. And I think I only actually set 2 things up. So the first one I'm going to show you is the one called DAX. And if you're not familiar with DAX, it stands for Digital Audio Exchange. Okay, that's what it stands for. So if you look here at the top here, it says RX Stream, and now you do have to tick that so that it goes blue. Otherwise, your WSJTX doesn't receive the audio. So you can select those parameters, but it won't receive it. Pretty sure that's what I set in that window. Okay, just minimize that. Now we're going to go over to the CAT. So in the CAT, we had to create a new port called PTT. So I clicked Add, yeah, and if we just select the one we're using here. So I clicked Add, and then when you click Add, let me just show you, click Add, you can actually select the type of port it is, and one of them is PTT, look, okay? So I clicked PTT, yeah, and then it gave me this window. So if I just edit the P that we've got, edit, and again, these parameters were set by Flex. So I named it PTT, although it's already saying protocol PTT. The type, serial, and then it says here Flex VSP existing, and it automatically gave me COM32. Remember I said to you, you've got to put that into WSJTX. VFO slice A, that's the slice that we're using. If you're not familiar with slices, it's basically the thing you're listening to, and you can have, on Flex 8400, you can have 2 slices. I think on the 8600, you can have 4. So there's that. RTS, that's important because you're going to put that into WSJTX. Active low, that was, by default, and make sure it's enabled, and then save. Okay, now I haven't changed that. Now the other one, there was an existing port there which I didn't need to actually touch. So I might actually just change that back to what it was, because that wasn't meant to be able to quickly. So ignore this bit, just so it doesn't confuse me, to be honest. Right, so this one here, this WSJTX2 is the one I created. So what I did, I clicked add, yeah, and it gave me a new window that looks like this. Okay, I named it WSJTX2. I selected cat and then TCP 5003, that's important, and VFO sliced A, and enabled it. I didn't touch the bottom one. Okay, and that's how we created those two windows. Then go back into WSJTX. So if we just go file settings, and you'll find that WSJTX will keep trying to close down. When it just put configure, select configure, and it allows you to come back to these windows. So the important one is here, RTS. You have to select that, and there's that COM32. Here where it says network server, ignore this baud rate, you're not using that. Where it says network server here, go 127.0.0.1, two little dots, 5003. Okay, so, and then when you do this, there it is. That'll worry then. It goes green, and when you do test PTT, it goes into PTT. So we can just click OK there. And if you're not receiving any WSJTX, so look here on the left here. I know it's quite small. Just here, let me see if I can make it a bit bigger. I'll move the radio smaller. I'll move this across. Now, of course, you can separate these completely. You know, they're just on my computer. If you've got two screens connected to your computer, you're going to be very happy. So you need all this. See here, you've got the level here coming in nice and green. This will populate very quickly, but the TX side of it, you want to make sure that, and I'm going to show you, take you back to the main screen of the radio. You need to definitely make sure you've selected the DAX. Yeah, DAX here, and then shows channel 1 DAX, because that was in our settings. Also here, see this here? It says DAX. You need to select that as well. Of course, tune your radio, set your power. I mean, you don't really need more than 20 watts on WSJTX. You can still use your tuner as normal. And then if we bring that back, WSJTX, and if you want to auto transmit, you literally just go enable there. And once this cycles across along the bottom here, the green line, of course, you have another window here. And what I would do is I would find a gap, right click on a gap, set TXRX. That's what I used to do. And then there it goes. It's going to start transmitting now. I mean, we could probably now, if we uploaded grid tracker and things like that, I'm sure we could configure it. But let's keep it simple. I've only been here for half an hour trying to set this up. That's working. I find if your AGC is a bit high, I'm sure there's parameters here to adjust all that. I would slide this power slider up and down a bit. So let it do its thing. You can double click on these stations and see if you communicate with them. Let's leave it calling secure. Oh, we could double click on one to see what it does. But you can see that the radio, yeah, is going into TX RX. No problem at all. It's not getting warm. It's only 20 watts. The fan, you hear the fan when it starts, but then it's actually very quiet. The fan, let's just make that just a bit smaller. Let's get onto the corner there. You can make it smaller. See me on the corner here? Like so. And, well, I believe have we had a contact? No, we haven't. Let's double click one. And then look, it will cycle through automatically. And just tinker and learn. It's all about tinkering and learning, if you ask me. That's what I do. I'm no expert. I've been sat here watching people's videos. Massive thanks to it was 7 years old, that video. I mean, this is, it's October 2025 at the moment. The 8400 hasn't been out for that long. I've got my Maestro coming. I've gone for the screen, this kind of almost looks like a computer on its side, but I know that this is a fantastic device. I was actually using my laptop earlier on 20 meters, and in here in the shack I was on 40 meters. Two separate things going on. I was in the other room doing something fantastic. Of course, I'm going to download the iPhone app for my, I've got a tablet here. Okay. And I've got the Maestro. It will be here, fingers crossed, by Saturday, but I got a feeling it's going to be Monday, Tuesday. It was a shame, but I managed to source one. I just couldn't find one anywhere in the UK, but I managed to get one in the end. And I'm having great fun. Highly recommend the Flex system. Yes, you've got to put your hand in your pocket and dig deep, but you are buying something that really is future proof. I mean, this 8400, I think I'll still be using it in 15 years from now. I didn't want to go too mad on it. I could have got the 8. I think there's a part of me that would have gone, because I spent similar money with the Flex 8600M, where you get everything really, but I wanted the Maestro, and I wanted HDMI out. The Maestro's got HDMI out. I wanted the portability if I could just grab the Maestro. I don't have to pick up this, almost like carrying a computer, a desktop computer. I just wanted the portability, and I thought I'm going to spend the extra money on the Maestro, and then because the Maestro, that C model, is going to be good for many years, and it actually makes this unit, the Flex 8400, very easy. And I did get the antenna tuner, so it's quite a tough decision, but you take the plunge once and that's it. So thanks for watching my channel. Of course, I'm brand new, and if you watch my YouTube channel, I'm testing many radios, and I don't just test high-end expensive radios. I test Bofungs, UBK5s, Quashangs, and then I go right up to high-end stuff like this. I'm very retro. I've got my Yaesu FT60 still here, FT7, Icon 7000, and I like old radios as well. And I'm into scanners. I've got lots of scanners here that I tinker with, and then you may have seen I do a small amount, 5%, of flying drones. I'm a very techie person, and it's all about passion, enjoying your hobby, and staying positive and being friendly. That's the big one. And being positive, God, the amount of comments that I reckon I delete 20 comments a day that are that are not like that. Yeah. And I mean, just stay positive, enjoy the fact that we've got this techie hobby, and there's a lot of gear out there that you can buy at a low price. And I'll be testing the old Flex 15,000 soon. Looking forward to that. Bye for now, 7-3. Massive thanks to the team at FlexRadio. You're all doing a great job, very professional. I love the interaction with the community, with the software, with the YouTube videos and everything. I'm getting a real good vibe from it, and I'm on board with you. And thanks very much. Bye for now. All the best.